right now the exhaust cutout is closed. I'm going to reach in there, or I'm going to hit the open button on the overhead button. Now the exhaust cutout is open, as you can hear. And now I'm going to reach over, hit the other button, we're going to close it. Pretty badass. Alright guys, we are underneath the truck and we are doing this on just some some car ramps right now. So, game plan is to keep all my piping from the old cutout, and we're just going to change the motor section, just the plate right here with the motor on it. So there's 3 bolts that hold the whole section on, and we're going to take those 3 bolts out, which I already have, and the only thing holding it right now is when I put this thing on, I put some RTV silicone on the gaskets as well, just to minimize any exhaust leaks that would occur. So we're going to pull this thing off, and we're going to go get the new one and start putting it back together. Alright, we already got the wire unhooked and everything, bolts are out. So we're just going to grab a hold of this thing and wiggle it around, and there she goes. Exhaust electric cutout is off. Now we're going to go get the new one, and we're going to compare the old one and the new one so I can show you what I was talking about in the previous video, guys. Alright guys, so we have both cutouts over here. This is the new one, this is obviously the old one, and we still got to separate it from the turn down right here. And I want to apologize if you can hear the rain. It is starting to rain on us on this metal roof, so bear with me on the extra noise in the background. So we're going to get this thing off. I'm going to pull it off real quick. There we go. And that is the old $50 eBay cutout right here. Now, some of the things I want to go over that is different on this eBay unit that makes it not so good versus the things that are better on this unit that makes it better. So, first thing to start with, I want to go over what happened to the eBay unit. The eBay unit still works, but what I ran into a problem with is there's 3 screws, one here, and one here that is actually missing still. If you can see that. Right there. So that screw actually came loose and fell out, and it is MIA. I still don't know where it is. Not a big deal, we can put one in there. But the other day when this thing quit working on me, what happened is these 2 set screws and nuts right here on this unit, you can see what they do, if I can focus, is they use a long set screw, an Allen head, with a nut, like a jam nut, to tighten down this coupler to the shaft of the motor. And the tension on them screws is what grabs the shaft of the motor and allows it to rotate with the motor to open up the exhaust valve. So what happened is these set screws, one of these actually fell out and was laying underneath the truck the day it quit working. And luckily I was able to find it, and I jammed it back in there and Loctited it, and it's still working currently as we speak. But what happened is these screws came loose and caused this one to stop working. So if you see the size of these screws, keep that in mind. And then these screws on the flap, it's kind of hard to see, this thing's so dirty. They have Phillips head screws, and then if you can kind of see right here, the size of these screws, it's pretty dirty, so I don't know if you're going to be able to pick it up. But so these screws are also a lot smaller than the new unit. So I'm going to show you what the new unit looks like compared to this unit. So first thing on the new unit, it uses the same idea screws up here with the motor. Granted, they do look like they're a little bit larger, but the biggest difference on this unit is they use a single set screw for both areas right here, and the set screw threads and size are much, much larger. So that allows for a much better bite and threads to be able to tighten down better on the shaft. And these are also, you can already see the red Loctite from the factory. They have already red Loctited them in. So that shouldn't come loose, I hope, but it's definitely an improvement over the older unit. So you got bigger screws and a better design. And then over here for the flat, or the exhaust valve, they have Allen head screws holding in this unit. And the threads, flip this thing over, are also, come on, focus. The thread size and bolt size to hold the valve to the shaft are tapped much larger, so it's going to get a better bite and you'll be able to torque it down better, as they did from the factory. So basically this unit has better hardware to be able to retain the tension and not come loose like the other unit did on me a couple times. So that is the biggest reason this valve is better than the other one. Not to mention the electronic feature that this one has with the control box, to have the one-touch feature where if you hit the button one time, it opens all the way up and stops by itself, and then if you hit the button again to close it, it does the same thing, closes all the way by itself and shuts off. This has a one-touch feature, as in if I hit the open button on the remote one time, just press it and let go, check this out. It opens all the way up and stops itself. If I hit the close button one time, it closes completely by itself and shuts off. Whereas this unit did not do that. You had to hold the button down the whole time to open it and or close it. So you really didn't know whether it was open or not, or closed, except for going off the sound of the truck or the car. Whereas this unit here basically takes away the guessing. You hit the button and it's going to do what you just told it to do, and then you hit the button on the other side for closing it, and it's going to do exactly what you told it to do, without having to worry if it's closed all the way or open all the way. So now, the other thing I want to mention is both of these units are completely identical as far as the bolt pattern goes. So if you are running the eBay unit, okay, which I know a lot of you guys went out and you bought this unit because I'm running it, and because it's cheap and honestly it's hard to beat. So if this unit fails on you, do not fear, because this unit is a direct swap replacement. So if you've already welded up and mounted all of your exhaust piping to your exhaust system, you don't have to worry about changing any of that or cutting that off to install the new unit. All you have to do is unbolt the old motor assembly and install the new motor assembly onto your existing cutout piping and hardware. Everything swaps over. The electrical connectors are even the same on both units, so you don't even have to change the wiring. Only thing you got to change is the control box inside the truck that plugs into the cigarette lighter to get your power. Other than that, your main wire that you ran through your frame rail into the cab to get power, don't even have to change that, as it's the same. Literally, you're going to unbolt your old unit, you're going to install the new motor assembly, and then install the control box assembly that came with this unit, and you are good to go. Not a hard swap at all. Very simple, 3 bolts, couple gaskets, and you're good to rock. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean these gaskets off, And I'm going to get these new ones ready to go, and we're going to bolt this new one on, and we're going to do a test. So we got the exhaust cutout completely bolted up underneath the truck. Now the only thing we got to do is install the new electrical box for our power and take out the old one. So this is for the old exhaust cutout. Unplug it from the cigarette lighter. Unplug the electrical cord that's running down to the cutout, which I have running. I got the extra tucked up in this pocket, and then it comes up underneath the floor right here, underneath the passenger seat. So didn't even have to replace this or run all that new wire with the new one. The old cord will fit the new unit. So this is the new box. We're going from this big box to this smaller box. So simply plug in the cord going down to the exhaust cutout, and then we're going to tuck this box in this pocket just like so, and the extra cord, and then we're going to plug it in to the power outlet. And just like that, we just swapped in a newer, better exhaust cutout, and didn't even have to work very hard because we was able to basically keep all of our wiring and our exhaust piping. Didn't have to remove none of that. Simply remove the motor assembly, put in the new motor assembly, and bam, done. So let's see if this thing works. Alright guys, we got it fully installed, and I'm going to hit the button and open it right here. Opens all the way up. Closes up. Working good. And like I said, all you got to do is just replace the motor unit if you already have the eBay unit that I was running before. So you can direct swap it over, very easy. You don't have to change any of your exhaust stuff or any of that stuff. If you're not running one already, then you would have to install the entire exhaust kit, but other than that, very simple. Back up now. That was with the exhaust cutout closed. Now we are going to open the exhaust cutout and do the same revs. Hell yeah, guys, sounds pretty freaking good. So I have a bonus. Well, let me close this so you can hear me. There we go. All right. So a lot of you guys was asking me if this exhaust cutout could be programmed with your overhead buttons, and that is a yes. They can be programmed. and I just programmed them. They work perfectly fine with the overhead garage door buttons, so you can program this cutout to work with the overhead garage door buttons. And I'm going to show you how that works right now. And so right now the exhaust cutout is closed. I'm going to reach in there, or I'm going to hit the open button on the overhead button. Now the exhaust cutout is open, as you can hear. And now I'm going to reach over, hit the other button, we're going to close it. Pretty badass. So there you go, guys. This new exhaust cutout is working like a champ. I love the one-touch feature. One touch and done, and it opens all the way up, or it closes all the way up by itself. I am definitely loving that feature. As you've seen, you can program the remote to your overhead garage door buttons, so you can use your overhead door buttons for the exhaust cutout to operate it. So you don't even need the remote. So that's awesome. And hell yeah. So 145 bucks for the single 3-inch exhaust cutout from SPELAB, or you can get a twin kit for about 250 bucks, I believe. So well worth the money in my eyes. Definitely cheaper than most out there. And they definitely improved this unit over the $50 eBay unit that I was using, where all the screws kept coming loose and falling out on me. So we're going to run this guy. That's what's going to be on this truck from now on. So link will be in the description if you're interested. Definitely appreciate you guys stopping by and checking the video out. If you're new, definitely hit that subscribe button, tap the bell button for the notifications so you don't miss anything, and we'll see you on the next one.